So welcome everyone to our Centering Ourselves in Consciousness talk today. We're very happy to have you join us for the next hour and a half and guide you in a creative and meditative process and understanding. My name is Dr. Indrani Margolin. I am an associate professor at the University of Northern British Columbia. I have teaching and research interests in consciousness and meditation, as well as the creative process. I'm also interested in women and girls' wellness and post-traumatic growth. I am a part of the leadership team of the Research Institute Northern Fire, and I'm also a board member for the Canadian Society for Spirituality and Social Work with Heather. And finally, I'm the founder and consultant of Ancient Secrets Path. I'd also just like to acknowledge the land that I'm coming from, which is the land of the Coast Salish people, the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish. So Heather, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure, thank you. So I'm Dr. Heather Boynton. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Calgary, the Edmonton Campus, and I have teaching and research interests in the area of spirituality. I've actually been involved in spirituality and social work for over 20 years, and I'm really interested in holistic practices that focus on the mind and the body and the spirit, and creative expressive approaches as well as mental health and trauma, grief, and loss. And I'm the vice president of the Canadian Society for Spirituality and Social Work. So welcome all of our members who are here today. I've been a board member since 2009. I'm also a Reiki and a Feng Shui practitioner. So happy to be here and pleased that you're with us today. As we go through, if you do have questions, we'll try to monitor the chat. So if you do have things that come up or things that you want to put in the chat, feel free to do that. We'll also try to save a bit of time at the end for some Q&A. I'm also happy to stay around, and Indrani, I'm not sure your schedule, but we might be able to stay around and have some more questions as well.
Of course. I'm just trying to get the view where everybody can see each of us talk, and I usually have no problem seeing it. I'm just not seeing it on my screen. As we go through this, I'd like the little picture where they can see each of us speak. Oh, because I'm sharing the screen, that may not be able to happen, right?
It should work.
Okay.
Why don't you introduce our special guest while I look to see what I can find out?
I'm going to do that a little bit later, Heather.
Okay.
Okay. I will. Should I just carry on?
Yeah, it will record your picture. When you're sharing the screen, although you won't see your picture, but
okay,
it should be recording. Yeah.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate that. Perfect. Okay. So to begin with, this is the perspective that we are coming from. This whole physical universe is a spiral movement from the fetus of the baby to the seed to the flower, from the nebula to the galaxy. A body of vortices and whirlpools. Everything is moving in whirling motion, spiraling motion. We inhale in vortice, we exhale in vortice. All movements go this way. In Vedantic philosophy, there is a dictum that says, as the microcosm, so the microcosm. This means as the grand, so the individual. As the ocean, so the drop. Spirit is breath. The The word spirit comes from Latin spiritus or spiro, means I breathe. It is pneuma in Greek, ruach in Hebrew, swastatum in Sanskrit. The very fact of our breathing in and out makes us spiritual beings. We don't have to do anything to be spirit. We are spirit through our very breath. It's not some entity out there separate from us. Spirit is life. Everything is life. And we experience this spiritual essence that we are just by attuning to our in-breathing and out-breathing. Spirituality is the journey to realize who we are, from individuality to unity.
So within the spirituality and social work literature, you will eventually, if you haven't already read about transpersonal theory, and Ed Canda's book talks a lot about transpersonal theory and as well as caring and healing. So transpersonal caring conveys a concern for the inner life world of another. And it seeks to connect with and embrace the soul of the other through the process of caring and healing and being in authentic relationship in the moment. Transpersonal caring also includes embracing a non-judgmental way of perceiving the world as whole. And in this state of mind, as person as environment, instead of in environment, we see things as a whole. We seek wisdom and practice and non-judgmental justice. When our consciousness is informed by our intuition and through observation and discernment for the purpose of gaining insight and clarity, we expand our openness to the possibilities of connections and to create new possibilities and solutions. So we can use our multisensory practice, which is guided by our holistic view and a worldview, with awareness that all beings are interconnected. Transpersonal practice begins with the awareness of our thinking and our emotions so that we can make our choices consciously, responsibly, and wisely. And practicing transpersonally is being open to the non-physical reality and the spiritual aspect and dimension and the mystery of the unknown. And we focus on expressing love and harmony and forgiveness and co-creation and reverence for life. So we can work collaboratively to engage in insights, both our own and our clients, and insights that we gain through consciousness, and gain clarity to receive and come together in these creative solutions for humanity's problems. And while we're engaging authentically in these caring interactions, we can then co-create together. And so the practices we bring you today are tools that can open up to knowing, being, doing, and becoming in new ways. We're opening our minds and awareness to the spiritual and the mysterious, into magic and the potential for miracles. Spirituality, like emotion, has varying degrees of depth and expression, and there is no endpoint, really, as one continues to learn and grow and develop spiritually. So let's talk a little bit about mandalas, because we're going to be using a mandala exercise today. The circle is a universal symbol, so there's no beginning or end. It symbolizes wholeness, eternity, sacredness, the divine, the universal and infinite nature of our energy, and the circular aspects of time, the seasons, and it also represents the soul. Many cultures utilize a circular symbol. In Vedic philosophy, the circle is a symbol of manifestation, with the center as the invisible, the visible sort of within center, and the vision, and the circle is the radiated circumference and outer reflection of the inner center. In Zen Buddhist philosophy, the circle is a symbol for enlightenment and perfection and unity. And in Chinese symbology, the circle represents the heavens. And mandalas were originally used in both Buddhist and Hinduist types of practices, and they are spiritual symbols that represent the universe. In Indigenous teachings, the circle is sacred, and when sitting in ceremony, you sit in a circle, and the circle of life represents every aspect of life coming together as a whole, and everything is interconnected. In the Judeo-Christian faith, they often circles signify God and sanctity. You'll see a halo around Jesus or around his head or around angels. And in occult practices, standing inside a circle shields people from supernatural dangers and outside influences. So circles can represent containing and containment, and keeping what is inside from being released as well. And Pythagoras felt the circle was the most perfect of creative forms, and it's often deemed to represent completion. Circles are found throughout our universe in terms of galaxies and in nature. You'll see shells in birds' nests, in whirlpools, in the wind. So it's a very universal symbol. Carl Jung, he used mandalas for eliciting spiritual and symbolic meanings. He tied these to self-discovery and personal growth. And he felt that mandalas allowed individuals to look at their spiritual selves and gain access to the intrapsychic dimension. He believed the spiritual development was one of our primary developmental tasks, and mandalas could actually assist us in terms of our spiritual development. He also noted that the colors are symbolic and communicate and convey meaning, and the process and creation of a mandala offers a means of intercommunication. And Carl Jung found that in his work with individuals, that they intuitively created images that he said represented the whole self. The inner self at the core of our personality is often not fully accessible, but through the use of the mandala and spiritual practices that we can open ourselves to this consciousness, and we can access more than what our mind can access. So this kind of process really transcends the personal. He felt that our spiritual selves in unity and wholeness were within the person, and that spirituality was experienced through our sensory means. And, often we notice when we're in nature, we have quite a sensory experience that's spiritual. And that spiritual intelligence, it really entails multiple ways of knowing, right? And it really involves this sort of transpersonal consciousness. When we can access these dimensions, we become more attuned to ourselves and to others. And the mandala is actually a canvas. It's like a mirror that can show you your inner guidance. So we will be doing an exercise of creating a mandala and drawing. And so we want to just touch base quickly on what symbols are. So symbols are really a drawn mark or a visual image. And it's a sign that represents an object or a gesture or an idea or relationship. And it can signify something to oneself or to another. And symbols allow us to go beyond words and create these linkages to greater concepts through emotional and spiritual experiences, often beyond words. Symbols also create imagery and can evoke or resonate emotions and deeper meanings, and often these are beyond language. And they emit and vibrate energy and visual knowing, as do colors. So, for example, the heart. We all know that the heart is a universal symbol of love. We know that a stop sign is a symbol that cues us to put on the brakes because there could be danger if we don't stop. So we have symbols all around us in our environment that evoke meanings. And our words are symbols. They're produced through symbols. Your name is a symbol that represents you. So objects can be symbols. A wedding ring symbolizes commitment and matrimony, and of course is a circle. So symbols are things that really bring meaning for us. And so when we're creating a mandala, oftentimes symbols will come through and emerge. Spiritual intelligence is something that I've really been diving into over the last while, and it's related to emotional intelligence. And spiritual practice actually includes really developing our interpersonal and intrapersonal sensitivities. Yet spirituality is also transpersonal, so beyond the self. And it's really complex in terms of thinking about spiritual intelligence. Cindy Wigglesworth has a book called 21 Skills of Spiritual Intelligence. And she has quite a framework that looks at how spiritual intelligence evolves in someone. So when we're working with others and we're serving others, this process can be really powerful and bring really creative, intuitive insights for us and for our clients if we're working with others. It's also a good spiritual self-care practice or a way of being, actually. And through practice, we can actually enhance our spiritual intelligence, just like a muscle that we exercise. So in this process today, we're going to connect you with your consciousness. And you can think about this as connecting to your authentic self, your higher self, your soul, God, creator, or higher power, or any source of energy, the collective consciousness, how that makes sense to you. So I'll pass it over to Indrani.
So we're going to start with turning inward to our consciousness with Mahavakya meditation. In ancient Vedic culture, Mahavakya meditation is an ancient system prescribed for self-integration, self-understanding, self-reliance. And this very powerful ancient system was brought together and culminated in a way that could be really digested through this book by master teacher Tolshi Sen that you see on the right, Ancient Secrets of Success, The Four Truths Revealed. And I am very honored to say that he's actually joined us today. Master teacher Sen is a teacher of entrepreneurs around the world. This is a best-selling book, and he has supported many individuals, families, communities. He works with indigenous communities coast to coast around North America, supporting them in not only spiritual and cultural development, but also economic development and independence. And I'm very happy to just take a few moments to invite Mr. Sen, acknowledge this amazing work you've brought to the world. And if you could say a few words about it for us. And I think I'll stop sharing the screen so you can be seen.
Hello. We are going to discuss centering ourselves with our consciousness. So there is a consciousness and there's ourself. In that book that you saw there, there's an old legend. There was a frog, there was a scorpion who wanted to cross the river, but he couldn't swim. So he engaged the frog to let him do it for him. Can I get on your back and you swim across the river and take me to the other side of the river? He said, no, because you sting and you will sting and I'll die. He said, don't be foolish. If you die, if I sting and if you die, I will drown. I can't swim. It's very logical. Our intellect is very logical. And the frog fell for it. And he said, get on my back. So he got on the back of the frog, and the frog starts swimming towards the other bank. But very soon, with all the good intention, the scorpion forgot his purpose to go across the river and just remembered his instinct. And he stung the frog. The frog said, what did you do that for? Then he realized it was too late. I don't know. I just happened to follow my nature. And the frog died and drowned, and so did the scorpion. In the ancient systems, meditation was designed to do this very thing. The scorpion is our intellect, and the frog is our consciousness. What we do, if our consciousness, our intellect cannot go beyond the past, it can only remember the past, cannot see the future. It can assume the future, it can calculate the future on the basis of the past. So that's why meditation was important to anybody, especially the people who have highly intellectual acumen. The word intellect comes from the Greek word interlegere, to choose between this and that. The intellect cannot create. But consciousness is the reason the whole universe was created, and including our intellect. Like man created the computer. The computer cannot create unless it's been asked to do it. So that's why these 4 Mahavakyams were created. So by repeating it, by integrating it with us, it can show us the power of our consciousness and become consciousness. I am that, which every breath of ours says so. That's the reason why we have, whether you're a therapist, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a regular office worker, consciousness is everything. Our consciousness is our environment. So now I'm going to leave you with that thought. That's why we meditate. We meditate to become consciousness and forget. And then we can dictate to the intellect what it must do for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sen, very much for dropping in and sharing that wisdom with us.
We appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. So this is what Master Sen was referring to, that our mind, our intellect is like that scorpion on the frog's back, trying to take the frog across the river. Meditation takes the sting out. Meditation helps the frog duck under when that sting uncontrollably wants to come and express itself out of the scorpion. So a few points to add about this practice. I have been conducting research for years around Mahavakya meditation with social work students, with social workers, and looking at how it supports work with clients as well as in their wellness. And like many expressive arts or holistic practices, the power and potency of this work is that it is trauma informed. What does trauma-informed means? It means that the meditator does not directly need to revisit the traumatic episode and material to engage in the practice, and healing can occur holistically without verbal engagement about the trauma episode specifically. Reflection on the meditation rather than the trauma experience reduces risk of re-traumatization. So here, of course, we're here today for our own wellness, but it's just to think a little bit beyond about what some of this work can do. Prolonged concentration on these words help release ourselves and clients from intrusive imagery and induces emotional and cognitive digestion. So what I want to say, we're about to meditate in a few moments, but what I want to say first is that we have to take precaution with any holistic work. We're always in charge of our own experience. So if anything feels uncomfortable for you, or please know that all our suggestions throughout the workshop are suggestions and guiding factors that you then decide how you'd like to participate with what's comfortable. When we tune into our own breath and our body, it can sometimes quickly bring to light previously dissociated pain and requires proceeding gently at the client's pace. So please nurture yourself as you move through our workshop today. Mahavakyam and mandala practice and reflection about the meditation really support a holistic, strength-based way of healing. These Vedic meditations add to our toolkit to increase holistic self-awareness so that we and our clients are enabled to integrate emotion, cognitions, and sensations without reliving them directly. And this is just an image of what happens that Master Sen gives as a metaphor, the stalactite and the stalagmite. Every time we say the word, the proclamation, Pragyanam Brahma, which we'll practice today, a channel is formed, a groove in our mind, and it eventually creates that center of a strong, grounded I, grounded beneath and connected to the whole universe across. And that's what we're working toward. So these are the proclamations from this text. Pragyanam Brahma, consciousness is creator, is the first one we'll practice. The purpose of the mantra practice is to identify individualized consciousness with cosmic consciousness. Pragyanam Brahma infuses the meditator with the idea that the conscious universe is made of the same consciousness as our own awareness. Broken down, this word means pra means prior, gyan, this is Sanskrit. Gyan means knowledge, for Gnostic comes from there, and na means name. And then Brahma is creator. And Brahma, we think of as Brahma as the creator, but Brahma really, the bra comes from there. It means bulging forth. So the whole idea of creator is very different from a separate Western notion. It's infused in everything. That is what creator is. Creator is our very breath. All around us is us all the time. We are that. So we're going to practice right now together with this mantra. And this Mahavakya meditation, Maha means great, the great word meditation. It's important that we know what we're doing and we feel comfortable with the meaning of it. So I'm going to play some music and I'm going to invite everyone now to sit back a little bit so you're not, the desk is not in your way, sitting on your chair. I'm going to play the music and I'm going to guide you for a few minutes in meditation. And then Heather is going to guide us in the mandala making. Sorry, Heather, before we do that, did you want to say something about the mandala material to have it prepared before we go into all of this?
Yes, please. Yes, so make sure that you have space to create, that hopefully you have your 8-inch circle and some colored things around you so that we can start to draw. There's just a couple of things that I wanted to just convey. When you're, after we meditate, we'll go right into allowing you to create your mandala. And when you're doing that, you need to suspend judgment. You need to just let things flow. Whatever comes through is what is having meaning for today. If you get stuck and you're just, nothing seems to be coming, you can get another piece of paper or on the back of your mandala. Just close your eyes and do what's called a soul scribble and just allow the pen to move. You can then open your eyes and you can turn the paper around to see what possibly has come through in terms of images or symbols. So that's just something if you get stuck, but just allow whatever comes through, whatever colors you're drawn to, whatever patterns, images, symbols, just let that flow and just enjoy. And we will then come together to sort of talk more about this. You are also creating what's called a yantra, which a yantra is a symbolic representation. It's like an, it's almost like we're drawing our own oracle card too, right? A yantra can be used for meditation in the future as well. And the symbols will hold energy and meanings for you that can continue to come through and bring new insights each time you look at it. And meditation with the yantra can really create new neural pathways for the symbols to assist you. So, so get yourself prepared to go forward, and we'll have Indrani guide us.
Okay. Can that sound be heard, Heather? That music?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to practice before we go into it, just saying the word together. So again, the meaning is consciousness is creator. And I'm going to say it and you can say it after me. It's Pragyanam Brahma. So I'll break it down and you can just repeat it aloud in your own space. Pragyanam Brahma. Pragyanam Brahma.
Pragyanam Brahma.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And so I will say it and I invite everyone to say it after me. It works easiest that way. And one note, meditation starts with asana. Asana is posture, positioning. So begin with your feet flat on the ground, sitting comfortably in your chair. Make any adjustments. If you notice any discomforts inside yourself. And as comfortable as possible, bring attention to your shoulders above your hips so that your spine is straight and aligned. And bring your forefinger and your thumb together to make a loop like this. And this closes the circuit of energy moving in a spiral around the right to your body. And just rest your hands gently on each leg. And together we'll begin for a few minutes to meditate on Pragyanam Brahma. Your only job as you meditate is to feel and listen to the music and the sound that you hear of Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Consciousness is creator. Consciousness is creator. Consciousness is creator. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Don't worry about the pronunciation, or if you don't know the word, just feel the sound. You can say it silently or aloud as you repeat it. Prajnanam Brahma. 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 You can say this after me too. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Keeping your eyelids closed. Take a breath. And just take note of how you feel. And gently wiggle your toes and your fingers. And hold the chair that you're sitting on. And gently open your eyelids. And prepare yourself to create your mandalas. And in fact, you can go right into creating your mandala right now. Trust in whatever color, line, or form you want to draw. There's no right or wrong for creating. And you have now 25 minutes, 30 minutes to create your mandala. And you can keep your camera and your sound off. And I'll keep this music playing while you create. Keep breathing and listening, allowing the symbols to come as you work and create with the colors. And allow your consciousness to come and speak to you. The imagery will speak to you. You don't have to control anything. Whatever comes out is exactly what is needed for you at this particular moment in your life. We'll have time afterward to reflect. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask us in the chat. minutes left. You have 3 minutes left, so consider that and think of how you want to start finishing or winding down what you're doing for now. You can always return to it later on your own. But bring it to a sense of completion that you'd feel good about for now. You have 1 minute left to finish up what you're working on. Okay, we invite you to finish up the last little bit you're working on, and you can always return to it later.
Okay, so as you step a little back from your creation, you can sort of just take it in. The process we're going to have you do now is we are going to put you into a breakout room with someone. You will share what you were drawn to create, maybe some things that came through for you in the moment as you were doing it, or even as you're reflecting now. And you'll have a few minutes each to share, about 5 minutes each to share. And then also the other person in the room will then share with you what they see. or what they get out of it. And if you don't have a camera, that's okay. You can just describe it, and the person can just bring forth whatever they hear and what you're saying. So I will put you into a breakout room with someone else. I notice that there are some people logging off, so I will try to get people into rooms, and then we will come back together and just have a wrap up kind of conversation. So, okay, I'm going to, well, I see there's a few missing, so I have to reassign.
And maybe I'll just say now, while we're going in breakout rooms, if anyone has to go early, we are sending out feedback forms that we would love you to fill out so we know how your experience was of this, that you'll be emailed. Is that right, Heather?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. And we'll give you a message when we're ready to come back. Okay. I see Amy is not joining, so I'm gonna have to move. Amy, are you joining in? Are you there? Okay, I will put her in there. Hi, Shelley. Are you having technical issues? I can't hear you, you're muted. You're on mute.
Sorry, I said when I had to log on, I had to go to my settings for my camera. I lost my partner and I don't know how to get her back.
Okay, you were with, I think you were
Number
with
8.
8? Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Amy, are you still there? Hi.
Hi, Heather.
It looks like Neil's left.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a couple rooms with 3 people in it just because they lost their person. And then it didn't happen all at once. Otherwise, I would have put the people together, but it happened sort of irregularly. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 or 7 rooms of 2 people, and we have 2 rooms of 3 people.
Okay. Do you know you're muted, Master Sun?
That Shelley who popped on is a very good friend of mine.
Great.
I am muted.
There you go.
You muted again.
You want me to unmute?
Unmute.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Unmuted.
Yes.
Don't like to be mute. I'm a
We
speaker.
don't like it either, ever.
Yes. So come in. Heather is going to invite you to the room here.
Oh, okay. 1 second.
Okay. He'll come. So Heather, afterward, if you have time, we can all stay on and talk for a few minutes.
Sure. Yeah, we should.
Okay.
So I think 5 minutes more, and then we'll maybe bring them back. Is that, what time did I put them in? I can't remember. I think it was about 6 or 8 minutes after, maybe 8.
Sure. Yeah, 3 or 4 more minutes.
Yeah.
I'd like to give some time. There was 22 in there before we left. So I'd like to give some time for them to give us some comments about the overall workshop.
Yeah.
And
Neil, get it? Unmute yourself.
There we go. Yes. I thought I was asked if I was going to be in a room. I said, no, it's okay. And then I thought, then I got invited to a room. I thought, oh, I better not join then. Okay.
See, we
okay,
have,
so we have a few other participants here too.
I see Lisa and Kim are here.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Okay. So you're done from your room?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. Okay, great. We're just going to give a few more minutes.
Okay.
To others. So
Wonderful.
That was a very good presentation. Very good presentation. Precise.
Wonderful. Yes, we needed to make it precise given the time frame we had.
People don't have time, but that's the reason why they should meditate, so they can expand time.
Exactly. Exactly.
The intellectual right away, the scorpion stung you. How can you expand time?
That's right.
Did you have a good discussion, Lisa and Kim?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we got to know each other a little bit.
Great.
Yeah, shared our experience. Yeah.
Good.
How did you enjoy making the mandala?
Are you there, Lisa?
Oh, sorry, I was just going to the washroom. I'm back.
Sorry to hit you up with a question as soon as you got back.
What was the question? I missed it. Sorry.
She was asking how do we enjoy. Oh, sorry. Can you say the question again?
Yeah,
Just quickly, Indrani, I sent everyone a message for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Well, while we're waiting for everyone to come back, I'm curious how you enjoyed the meditation and making the mandala.
For me, I've never done kind of like drawing meditation or anything like that before. So it was really, I found the meditation before the mandala, drawing the mandala was really helpful, kind of to connect you and get you in kind of in, I don't know, in a calmer place, I guess. And then for the mandala, for me, I found it hard to kind of, there were times that were just like, I don't know, I just basically drew shapes and things, but I kind of let myself just go instead of trying to think of what to draw. And yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
I really liked having the meditation first. I think that really helped me to just to help me to settle my mind of what I wanted to put in the mandala. And I had no idea what I was going to put. And then I just kept flowing, I guess, from, it's like a little bit, as I was telling Lisa, a little bit of review of my life, almost fast, a fast review of my life, sort of. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it was
always
really nice.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I like that, a fast review of my life.
Closing the rooms.
It's good to hear the meditation was helpful for both of you too, to quiet the mind.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There's so many things that demand our minds to not be quiet.
Yes. Yes. The scorpion seems to multiply itself.
Oh. Now I know it's my week off, but as does the work that I do, it multiplies.
Mhm. Yeah.
Demand is high, I can tell you, in the hospital. Yeah.
Yes.
I have to say hello to Amanda. I see you there.
Hi, Heather. You look amazing. Oh my gosh. I almost didn't recognize you. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's my long hair.
Beautiful.
COVID hair.
And it's good to see you too, LJ here. And Danny too.
Yes. And Lisa.
Hello. With my post-workout hair. My hair's not as long as my sister's, but.
Okay, so we just would like to open it up to sort of what that experience was like for you. And, you know, if you want to share any insights that you had from your breakout room or discussion around that or thoughts, we would welcome that.
Or you could even share your mandala. Like this is a mandala I made the last time in the fall with Heather.
Mm.
And when you contemplate your own mandala, the meaning comes clear to you of its significance. But we'd love to hear from you about your experience of the chanting meditation, of the mandala, any of it that was meaningful for you.
I'll say something. I really, just the little breakout room was really meaningful because I didn't know what to think of my mandala and didn't really have, you know, any interpretation of it. But I think the group kind of helped me look at it differently and make sense of it more. So that was neat.
Wonderful. Yes. And spirit comes through us to others, right? So your sharing of the image resonates and brings energy, and then the messages come from other through that process as well. Mm-hmm.
And if anyone feels more comfortable putting something in the chat about your experience, you can do that too.
So I'll just share with you, I have used this practice with clients. I've used it with students. I actually taught in Indrani's class last year in the fall. That's when she made her mandala. And we did a session with her students, and very powerful, the insights and meanings that can come forward. I have also done it by setting an intention of information that you would like to receive. And then you can also use it to tap into, like, you can ask to understand your own spirituality and see what comes through in terms of what your own spirituality is. And then you can also even use the mandala to put like your talents and skills and abilities, and really pay attention to what those are. And to then have a reflection on, are you using those in your everyday practices? And are there areas of attention that you need to pay more attention to? So you can use this in multiple ways.
You can also practice saying the word that we focused on for the meditation. You can say it in English. That's easier. Consciousness as creator. If that, some people said it was very helpful to calm their mind when we were chatting with them. So you can sit down and have a formal way to say it, but you can also just throughout your day, before work, as you're driving, consciousness is creator, consciousness is creator. Even just the feeling of it, right? It resonates, it brings calm, and it ignites that truth in us of what we really are beneath everything else.
And this practice, you know, if you're doing visioning and thinking about what you want to manifest, you know, we create our own realities. And so we're manifesting through thinking. Consciousness creates, or I am creator. We are bringing forward that intention of co-creation or creation, I like to say, because it's all, you know, if you think of oneness, right? It's all one. So any other thoughts or questions from anyone?
Or comments?
We have a quiet group today.
Yes. So I'm going to share the screen again, Heather.
Okay.
And say thank you to everyone on behalf of both of us. It has been wonderful to teach and learn with you in centering ourselves in consciousness. And we truly hope that you felt that you had an experience of that. Both of our business websites are here. You can see, I mean, you can also reach us through our university emails at UNBC and at U of Calgary. But Heather and I are both have consulting businesses. So if anyone is interested in further workshops, we're starting those as well. And these are our websites, and feel free to check those out and reach out to us about anything about that. And I should have put Master Sen's website on here too, which is tolshisen.com. And the music that we played, that's music that he has composed. And the book also he's selling there. You can also get that on my website. But anything you'd like more of, feel free to contact any of us. And if you want to stay on and chat with us after, if you'd like to have a more one-on-one, we'd really love to hear from you, because knowing how this work, we're really just starting out. So knowing how this work is impacting people is really important to us. We'll also have a feedback form as well that we'll email out.
And we're hoping, our vision is to create some communities of practice and to share more of the wisdoms and teachings that we have had over our lives. And we want to allow a space for professionals to connect in this way, and those who are really practicing and wanting to have a spiritual practice for themselves, as well as in their work with clients. So yeah, so please email us and stay tuned. And I guess we can stop the recording.